7 o'clock, call meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Let's see you roll call, please.
Supervisor Hill,
Here.
trustee Oppie,
Here.
Squires,
Here.
trustee Osling,
Here.
treasurer Anderson.
Yes. Do we have any additions or corrections? Do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda tonight, board members?
No.
Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the meeting agenda as presented. So moved. So moved, Treasurer Anderson. We have support? Support, Trustee Osling. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you. We are on to the approval of the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. So moved. So moved by Trustee Osling,
I'll second that.
supported by Trustee Oppie. I'm almost hearing you. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. And then we have the elected officials reports. Reports are over there on the table. As we said before, we've been trying to gauge what we put out there. We're down to one now. Reports should be out on the website, as well as you can ask for one as well under freedom of information from the clerk. We've just been trying to cut down on the paper we waste. So I would entertain a motion that we put the elected officials reports, that we accept them and put them on file. So moved. Moved by Treasurer Anderson.
Support.
Support, Trustee Happy. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you. We're at the point of the agenda where we have the first public comment section. We have two public comment sections. The first one is for any of the items that are listed 1 through 8 before you on the new business. And if anybody does have a public comment and you're at your seat out there, we have got microphones for you, and someone will walk them to you so that you are able to be heard on the Zoom and the YouTube program later on, I guess. So if anybody does at any time during this meeting, we'll run one back to you. Seeing no hands going up, we'll go to the new business. And number one, I'm proud to introduce Susan. Where you at, Susan? Will you give me that proper pronunciation? Overset. Susan Overset. She is here for a great donation to the township in the form of a Moby chair for Carlos Park down there. And Susan, do you want to make any comments at all before we make our motions to accept it and whatever there, please? Thank you for the microphone.
I've been here enough to see and watch people use it. For me, it's all about my son. But on evening of the 4th of July, I watched a young lady sitting down at the water's edge in a wheelchair with her family. And I thought, that right there, that's why I asked what I am. In the movie, man, it's awesome. But it's like having a bowl of ice cream but not having a spoon.
Yeah.
So by purchasing the Moby chair, now we have the spoon to eat the ice cream sundae. It opens it up for everyone. It's all about inclusivity. Nobody's limited. Heck, I got him out of the chair when we were in the water and I sat in it and it was really comfortable.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Yes.
just because I was being lazy. The amount of love that my family has for this township, my neighborhood, that part is immeasurable. And hopefully one day that will be our forever home. And I want to be part of the community, I want to be involved. And I want it to be open forever. So that was the method of my madness.
Very good. I've spoken to her numerous times over the last year or two. When she called with a gracious offer, such a gracious offer, those are not cheap chairs. I was taking it back at her generosity to share that with everybody in our township. For those of you that came in, that came through the hallway, you can see it out there. And I think I would like to take the opportunity because I don't want to miss this. We do, under our township's policies, we have to accept it formally, then we take care of it forever and ever and ever. And so I'm going to have us make that motion to formally accept it. But I would, because we do want a picture with you guys, and because it's out there, I do want to have you get that opportunity out there for that. And wondering also, do you mind if we put that out on any of our media or anything else? You are okay with that? All right, very good. With that, I would entertain a motion to accept the Moby Chair donation from Susan Overset to be used at Carlos Park and maintained by Gerrish Township. I would entertain that motion.
Make that motion.
Thank you for the motion, Trustee Hoppy. Any
Second.
second by Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion, board? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Pose the same. That motion carries. Thank you very much, Susan. And Michelle, would you do the honors with them and we're still in session, but we're going to wait for y'all. Yeah, it's very cool. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Again, great debt of gratitude, Susan. I appreciate that. And on behalf of the folks that I know will be using it, I know they do too. And inclusivity is wonderful. So thank you. Okay, we're on to number 2, which is Becky Yunker. Becky, if you're going to talk, you got to decide to sit at that right there and have a microphone close, or you can do back there, but you got to have that hand microphone. Your choice, Becky.
Because we're going to pass them.
Becky is our executive director at the Northern Michigan Children's Assessment Center, and she asked to come tonight and to give us a little update on the center.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. It's we're going on 11 years being at the Children's Assessment Center, and I'm like, I think I need to start making my rounds to the townships. I go to the commissioners' meetings every year and present to the commissioners on our services and who we are. And there's a lot of things happening, so a lot of good opportunity for us to get out in the community and talk with people about our services. So in your packet, those of you, I'm kind of preaching to the choir, I feel like being in this township because you guys are so supportive of our center, and the partnerships that we have with you and Gerrish Township Police Department has just been tremendous these past 10 years. But I think it's always important to evaluate and talk about why we're here and the services that we provide. So kind of just looking at, we are accredited by National Children's Alliance, which they credit over 900 children's advocacy centers in the United States. There's 40 children's advocacy centers in Michigan. So I think we are very blessed to have the center that we do and the services that we provide here in Roscommon County. National Children's Alliance, we submit all of our data, all of our research, all the 900 plus centers to National Children's Alliance. And their statistics come out year after year. 1 out of 8, 1 out of 10 children will be sexually abused by their 18th birthday. Sadly, only about 30% of those kids are disclosing abuse when it happens. So we know there's a lot of kids out there that still need services. It's underreported, it's underserved. And so the services that the center provides these families and these kids are just crucial in order to continue to reach those underserved populations. The second handout that I have in here is really just to give you a visual and some information in regards to how important children's advocacy centers are. That first diagram is really what children went through prior to children's advocacy centers. So it's a lot of chaos. Kids were being interviewed multiple times. They were being interviewed by officers in uniforms in the backseat of a patrol car, sometimes in the home, maybe in the room that the abuse happened in, and just not in situations that were conducive to give these kids an opportunity to talk about what's happening to them. The other flip side of that is kids were also being interviewed by people who just didn't have the adequate training, at no fault to them, but just asking questions that may have been leading, may have been suggestive, and therefore maybe getting a false allegation from a child. And so back in the 80s is really when Children's Advocacy Center spearheaded and came up with the solution that we needed to create a a system for children. So when kids are a victim of a crime, we're putting them in a system made for adults. We need a system for kids. So that's really when they started training, using trained forensic interviewers to interview kids who received the training that they needed to make sure that we're questioning kids in a way that's open-ended, that's non-intrusive, that the information is coming from the child. And they switched the thinking from hypothesis testing to from hypothesis confirming to hypothesis testing. So instead of just assuming and making that confirmation that this child disclosed abuse, we as interviewers are trained to test that hypothesis. So we know there's a lot of reasons why a referral might get made. There may be a misunderstanding, there may be a false allegation, there may be some coaching, and then there's those kids that really are being sexually abused. So we want to ensure that we're interviewing kids in a way that's getting that most accurate information. So with Children's Advocacy Centers now, you see the diagram with the CAC is we coordinate those services. Kids are being interviewed by a trained forensic interviewer. So we're minimizing the number of times that kids have to tell their story and ensuring that they're able to receive those services in a child-friendly environment. once that interview is done, law enforcement has a lot of work to do. When kids are disclosing, law enforcement is out there building their case. They're interviewing a lot of other witnesses. They're scheduling polygraphs. They're taking evidence. They're sending the stuff to the crime lab. It doesn't really give them a lot of opportunity to provide families with the support that they need. So my staff then, we have advocates, we do medical exams, and we have therapists on staff. So we are working with those families then after that interview to ensure that the families are getting the support that they need. We know if kids do not get the intervention at the time that they're experiencing trauma, those are the kids that we're seeing in our community that are our delinquents. Those are the kids that are running away. They become our truancy, teenage pregnancy, depression. And those are the kids that probably were abused and didn't get the help that they need. So if we can provide that intervention and hopefully prevent, that cycle of abuse down the road. We work together as a multidisciplinary team is the whole focus of the Children's Advocacy Center. Our partners with law enforcement, Children's Protective Services, and the prosecutors. So that partnership is what ensures that we are investigating these cases in a way that we are holding offenders accountable when they need to be, not holding offenders accountable if they don't need to be, and then getting the support that these kids need through that counseling service. So I did throw in stats. I'll let you review those, but just kind of overall, if you look at last year, we saw 224 kids come through our center just last year. 59 of those kids were Roscommon County kids. So the support that we get from Roscommon is helping those kids and ensuring that those kids are receiving the advocacy support if they need a medical exam and the therapy that they need. I had one little kid come and give our counselor a card and went to the store and picked out this card and gave it to our therapist. You are a wonderful reminder of how good, of the good that there is in the world. And then she writes on the inside, "Thank you for helping me, Robert. You are the best ever." And she draws a picture of her coming to therapy. I was out just today, I was out talking to some staff, and there was a family sitting in the waiting room, and Robert's one of our therapists, and he went down and he sat in the chair with the grandma, brought the child in for therapy, and so he's like, I'm on vacation next week. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to have to cancel therapy. We'll be here the next week. And she said, you would not believe the difference of the weeks when we don't have therapy. The difference that you're making in my granddaughter's life is priceless. She said, we really regret the days that we can't bring her here. And so I walked away, and later I said, Robert, did you pay her to say that? But we overwhelmingly, that's the response that we see from our families and hear from our parents. The parents that were abused as a child, we hear, I wish these services were available when this happened to me. So I can't imagine what the families had to go through, without a Children's Advocacy Center and the impact that we see those families going through now. Couple exciting things that are really happening at the center. I hope everybody here tonight has heard about our exciting expansion campaign. Sadly, when we started the center 10 years ago, really it was not the goal at that time in our strategic plan to have all the services that we have now. Really, we were focused on making sure that we had a safe place for kids to be forensically interviewed and receive the advocacy support that they needed. We quickly learned in the first year of services that there's not a lot of services for kids for mental health. So we quickly kind of jumped on board, found funding, was able to secure some funding to expand our partnership with My Michigan. So we work with My Michigan, who does our non-acute exams. And then we also received funding to have a SANE program. So we do all the sexual assaults when, is it too loud? Oh, thank you. So yeah, all of our acronyms in our world. So the Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner Program. So that program is our nurses who are trained to do the evidence collection. So any child or adult who's sexually assaulted within a 5-day time frame can come to the center and have that same sexual assault nurse exam occur. So we're doing the evidence collection. So that population they don't have to go to the emergency room, sit in the chaotic environment of the emergency room, and a lot of times have a doctor or a nurse who maybe this might be the first evidence collection kit that they've ever done. And so they can come to the center for that. And then with our therapy. So I have a medical coordinator that's a full-time staff, and then she coordinates, and we have 4 nurses that are on call. So law enforcement will call us, or the hospitals will call us when they need a SANE exam, and then we coordinate that with our on-call nurse. So we have nurses that are on call 24/7. So with that, we are still located in the same space that we were 10 years ago. So if you look at the floor plan, kind of, and up in the left-hand corner, which is kind of the green, the yellow, and the browns, is the space that we started with. And it was we're about 3,400 square foot. With the close of the juvenile detention center, we are working with our commissioners to take over the juvenile detention center and renovate that into the current space that goes down that big long hallway. And with that space, that's going to give me the capacity to move our SANE program over to the detention center, move our forensic interviewing space over there, and then to also have offices for staff. The beauty of that is going to be we're going to go from 1 entryway to 4 entryways. Right now, all families, all law enforcement, everybody enters that same door. When for the medical suite, we'll have their own entryway. Anybody who's coming for a medical exam will be able to enter there. We'll have a private waiting room. They'll have their own entry. They'll have their own space for those medical exams. Right now, our forensic interview room is right by our front door. Anytime, and you know how big, heavy those doors are in the craft center, that door slams and those kids can hear it in the interview room. We're going to move the interview room over to that blue section. So we'll have 2 forensic interview rooms. We can decorate one for children, one for teens, so they feel comfortable in that space. Law enforcement's going to have a nice open area for their observation room. Every interview that we do, law enforcement's there. They're there observing that interview in another room on a TV screen. They're not in the room with the child, but they're there while that interview is going on and seeing live everything that child is saying. So that will give law enforcement a nice space for them to provide those services. Then what we want to do is our current space is reconfigure our current space so it will allow us to have the capacity to partner with our communities more, where we can offer more therapy services, more advocacy services, have a shopping center where people can come in and get clothes and whatever needs that they might have, and really just have all those wraparound services that our families need. The first phase of this is the detention center. Our goal is 1.2 million. We're just shy of 900,000. So my goal is to raise that 1.2 million by the end of this year. We have a meeting this week to meet with Three Rivers, who is our construction design people that we're working with. And we're hoping after Labor Day that we'll be able to start our demolition of the detention center and start that renovation project. That will probably go until spring, and then phase 2 is another 1.5 million, and then that will be renovating our current space to make it conducive to the services we're providing. So my shout out is just to please spread the word, let people know of our services, let people know the need that we have. We are raising about 37% of our budget just from the community support that we get. Our state and federal funding, you never know what we're going to get. We're in conversations. I was on a conference call today about state and federal funding. I'm not sure how it's looking. So all the fundraising that we do, the support that we get from the police department here, we appreciate your support. The commissioners support, all of the community support that we get. We couldn't do it. I mean, I can always say I can hire the staff to provide the service, but I need the community support to be able to partner with me to do that. So I just wanted to come tonight, let you know all the good stuff that's happening at the center. Thank you for your support and answer any questions you might have.
Thanks, Becky. Board members, do you have specific questions? I'm kind of intimately involved in it, so I don't have any questions with it. Sure.
That you're currently just in this piece in the upper left-hand corner here, that the green piece that's,
Yep. So we stop where this big blue, or I'm sorry, the big green office here,
okay,
that was Second Chance. So the Second Chance Academy, it was this, and this is detention. So this is our current space right now.
okay. And obviously you're taking over all of it.
So we're going to take over all
Over
of it.
yeah.
Yep. So right now in that space, we're doing forensic interviews, we're doing medicals, we're doing counseling, and all of our advocacy and all of our staff support in this space.
And we're getting a deeded footprint. That way it's owned by the center,
Yeah.
the nonprofit center.
What is it now?
And right now, the county has given the use of that as an in-kind donation. And of course, it's advantageous to them to have another entity in there. And I will fill in just a little bit when you started. I know when I started with the board for the center, we had 2 employees and about a $200,000 a year budget. We're now up to about $1.2 million in an operational budget. And we are literally busting at the seams in there. And the things that I have seen over the course of my time on the board and as the police chief previously is we're having better luck in convictions with the advent of the professional interviewing services. And I can tell you that from a police officer standpoint, and I'm sure that the chief will back me up on this, they're a lot better at interviewing children than we are in law enforcement. Even though we had forensic interview training, we didn't have the facilities, the ability to take a uniform off on a road patrol officer was just not there. And the amount of detectives necessary you would need was not there. And so we went through many turf battles between the Health and Human Services at the time, FIA, I believe it was called Family Dependent at one time, with DHHS. And so we broke down a lot of those walls. Everybody's marching in the same direction. And we've seen great results. And I'm hoping to see that this will come to fruition here. We've had some great support from our community. And the other thing that I think that I wanted to fill in is we are 5 counties, actually, 6 counting Roscommon, but 5 other counties. And so we are out in looking in for capital monies as well from those areas and doing a lot of hard work. There's a capital campaign every Monday morning at 9 o'clock, that kind of meeting. And so I would say, folks, if you haven't gone in and made an arrangement to take a tour of the current center and the projection, and if you're interested, Becky will certainly, we have dates and times planned, would certainly love to take you through to help educate you on what we're trying to keep right here in Roscommon, even though it serves some of the other counties as well. So I think that's it.
We do get support from all 6 county commissioners. We are in all of our county commissioners' budgets. We're in most of the city police department budgets. So we get a lot of support from all of our counties. And I have to tell you, I'm on the board of our state chapter, our Michigan chapter, Children's Advocacy Centers of Michigan. We just changed our name there too. And I'm on our board, and in talking to other directors, we are one of the top-notch centers. There's 40 other centers in Michigan, and we are one of 3 that provides all the services under one roof. There are not very many centers that can, provide the medicals, both acute and non-acute, or have therapy on staff. We are kind of the Cadillac of centers. I think we're very blessed to have the services that we are. And I think that's one thing that people don't actually realize, what is a Children's Advocacy Center and the uniqueness of having what we have in such a rural area. And that goes back to the support that we get from the community.
Well, thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Becky.
Any board members, any other questions at all? Nothing? Good? Jim, comment? Good?
I'm good.
Good?
No, not really. I mean,
I will say, I've worked with Becky from the start as their CPA, and you're giving credit to a lot of people, but I remember this young lady coming and asking for help. I don't know how many years ago it was now, and in this facility and this program has got a lot to do with the effort that you put in it, and Just want to know,
Yeah.
let you know we appreciate.
When I came and said, what is a 501c3?
Yeah,
And how do I apply for that?
It's grown into the need and meet the needs of the communities. And I guess you did hit on it as one of my things is that when you look at the amount on the stats and what Roscommon County is getting provided from this, there are 5 other counties that I am hoping that they're all helping with their share because it's a benefit to everybody that gets those services.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
Becky, I always give everybody the chance to jettison if you feel necessary. It is after hours, after a full day's work, I'm sure. So thank you. Okay, we're on to number 3. Number 3 is an acknowledgement of a resignation from Lieutenant Norm Labonte. Chief, any comment on it or at all? Yes. Yep. Yep. Very good. Very good. For those that don't know, I know I thought most people in the community know anyways. He had sought some federal employment as well. At this time in his life, he felt maybe he couldn't pass the opportunity up. So we're going to miss him. With that, I would make a motion to accept. I'll make the motion to accept the resignation of Lieutenant Norm Labonte from the Gerrish Township Police Department with thanks for his service to the township and best wishes in his new endeavor. I'll make that motion. Supported by Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion, board? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose the same. Motion carried. Number 4, on the tail end of that, we need to now authorize Chief Mushinsky to start looking for a replacement. So I would make a motion to authorize Chief Mushinsky to immediately advertise a job posting, both internally and externally, to fill the position of the lieutenant accordingly. This is a lieutenant's position. I'll make that motion.
Second that. I'm sorry.
Okay, seconded by Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion, board? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Thank you. Number 5, we are, the fire department is asking the board to approve a new hire. And so I'm looking for a motion to authorize Chief Gilliam to hire Douglas Hedrick as a firefighter contingent on passing physical and drug screening. Moved by Treasurer Anderson. We have support.
Second.
Support by, Horse Trustee Hoppy. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose the same. Motion carried. And we are on to number 7. As was mentioned at our work session, we have our electrical subcontractors.
Skip number 6.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6. Yeah, thank you. Board, we were discussed at our work session. The board did about the Gerrish Township sanitation fees for the 2026 and 2027 year, which we have to get squared away so that indeed there's another L form that would need to be submitted. And so I would entertain a motion to approve the proposed Gerrish Township sanitation fee for 2026, 2027 as presented at $235 per parcel.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Osling,
Second.
support by Treasurer Anderson. Any further discussion, board? Hearing none. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose the same. Motion carried. Thank you. Now we'll go on to number 7, which is a renewal of the subcontract electrical contract. They are due to expire in September, I believe. And so I would entertain a motion to approve a 2-year subcontract for plumbing and mechanical inspector Paul Kyle as presented in the contract.
So moved.
Moved by Treasurer Anderson. Support. Support by Trustee Osling. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pose the same. Motion carries. Thank you. We then are on to the plumbing and mechanical inspector, the same thing. Looking for a motion to approve a 2-year subcontract for electrical inspector Bruce Dean as presented in contract. We have a motion.
So moved.
So moved by Treasurer Anderson. I'll support it. Any further discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Is that all of us? Did I catch it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Those opposed, motion carried. Thank you. That is the agenda items for tonight. We're on to the second item or the second public comment, which doesn't have to be just on the 8 things on the agenda. And so if there's anybody that wishes to make a public comment, again, we'll send you around a microphone so that those that are out on Zoom or YouTube later can hear you. We're hoping that maybe this might remedy that problem we've had for a while. So anybody in the audience have a public comment? Again, it does not have to be about the 8 items on the agenda. Please state your name so that they can get you for the record here and speak real close into the microphone, I'm told.
We are not able to locate ducks as part of our program this year because of the lack of a permit from the our and their permit was suspended by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. So that's the reason that our program has not been in operation this season. I see a lot of things in social media. Last time we located ducks, so the answer is no. There's approximately 28 or so birds on the lake that you probably have. So, but one of the good news things is that we had eliminated silverfish infection in the snails to about 0. And so the worst case scenario is probably not going to occur as far as swimmers education during the summer, but maybe a step up next year. In addition to that, we're trying to get the DNR to help us more with stopping invasive species. There's been a lot of discussion this year about the invasive species that are causing degradation to lake quality and significant degradation to the oxygenation of the water at certain levels, limits where fish can live, that sort of. So in any case, we've been trying all summer to get a meeting with the DNR at a higher level than we've been able to work with the summer or in past summers, and we're able to get that. So on Monday, on August 4th, we had a meeting that was largely set up by Ken Ford and the HLBOA lobby of San Luis. We took our case to those people, and honestly, I was very surprised at how many attended. The director of the DNR attended, assistant director attended, and many of their manager heads attended. And the purpose of the meeting was to try to get them to help us work with different people, and I felt that that was accomplished. At the end of the meeting, people talked to us, and we're now going to be trying to set up some additional details of what we feel are necessary. A lot has to do with pool washing and so that nature, and making the public aware of how weeds can be transferred on trailers, that sort of stuff. So I just wanted to mention to everybody, kind of informed everyone where we are with that. And we're also probably going to be looking at some things that may have to do with Gerrish Township's interaction at times. I know that talking to Chief Brzezinski and to Supervisor Hill, there have been some things that they thought maybe could be made better. So we're going to be looking at that. We're also going to be introducing people from the Eagles Lake Foundation, have them speak about the things that they do consistently. So I'm just pretty encouraged at what we've been able to accomplish in that meeting, and what things may take place going forward, and I just wanted to let you know that something. I don't know if there's any questions.
I only had one. Thank you for the update, and obviously you can count on me, and I'm sure Chief Mashinsky along the way, trying to solve some of those the DNR things and suggestions and that kind of thing. Certainly support from there. What the permit was not given this year, was it was avian flu? Is that what they used?
The fact that influenza habits are different than a lot of other groups, and you're not likely to cause that, but we're only trying to locate birds from one of their normal environments to another of their normal environments. But we were unable to convince the people in the past what we need them to help us with. But I do feel from talking to the people that did the meeting that there are some people there who are very well informed and educated about those things. And so I think we're going to be able to make progress with them. What we really are, we're going to apply for the federal permit again. And then what we're going to need is when the federal permit is actually granted, and we expect that we're going to need the Michigan DNR to support that. And a very similar thing happened earlier this summer with a lake in Minnesota. They made this same application to the federal fish and wildlife permit. They received it. And then when they went back to the state DNR in Minnesota, so they couldn't do the types of things that we intend to have or I would also say that I get reports on individual cases in the reporting, and I do feel that it's up just a little bit from the past year. It's nothing like the other portions it was 10 years ago, but it is a little bit stronger, and we do know that if we can't continue to do this program, it comes back.
Yep.
It's just a matter of how many snails. So just let everybody know that we're going to continue to work on that. We're going to try to have meetings. The assistant director said that she would come to the plate and she would discuss. So I thought that was great.
Very good. Thank you. Board members, any other questions on
Yeah, I think
his?
you just touched on it, Greg, but I guess I heard someplace, I don't remember where, that there was some infestations of Boomer's itch going on right now. Are you hearing that, or?
Yeah, well, I get reports on how many cases are reported, and of course, we don't get them all reported, we get quite a few. And there always are, because there's always incidents of birds that fly in and infect snails, that sort of thing. But I think this is a little bit more than I've seen in the past, but it's not totally unusual to have cases like this reported throughout the summer. There were some cases reported at the state parks. Recently, there were some cases reported in about every area of the lake. And a lot of it, I think, now could be due to the new ducklings that have been on the lake as long as they have. We've done studies in the past as to how long it takes from a duckling to get infected to where it starts creating parasites that find snails. And it's about 3 to 6 weeks. So they've been on the lake now since in some cases about the beginning of June. So we're starting to see that. But it's nowhere near the proportions that it was 10 years ago. But we don't want any of it. I mean, we got snail infection rate down to 0. And we'd like to get it back there, but we can't go too long like this. We can't keep having our program suspended. And this is now the 3rd year out of the last 4 that the program has been suspended. So we're in danger of going back to 0. That's why our.
So, Greg, appreciate the comments and the updates for sure. Anybody else? Public comment? Sure. I'm hearing. Yeah.
Lake, and there's been one since 2000, permanent resident, and before that I was a downstater that came up on weekends, so you know my history. I just have 2 things. One about the library, and I won't turn around to look to see if there are any hands behind me. I hope that everybody who is in this room has walked in the library at least one time. There's so many things in our Ross County Area Library that you're missing out if you don't take advantage of it. We just included a wonderful summer reading program, not just for kids, but for adults, and we always have something going on. So if you haven't been there, please try it. And the other thing, which is a little more controversial, I read in the paper two very well-written articles by people from Home Lake about the problems that are presented by short-term rentals.
Can you speak up Martha, a little bit?
I read in the paper,
You got
That
it.
sounded
Yeah,
better. You
yeah.
got it, Martha.
Right up close.
these two very well-written letters to the editor about the problems in Home Lake about short-term rental. And I had quite a discussion with my close neighbors about their concerns, and I have concerns. I hope that this is being studied, and I hope there are some positive things that can come out of it. My other hope is that it doesn't result in getting front loaders and back loaders. I'll use those terms I hate them, which is another way of describing people. Because we can all work together on this if we are given the opportunity. So,
Very good. Thank you, Martha.
council level. It needs to be looked at.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? All right, not seeing any there. We are on to the announcements section. Mary Jo, you got any announcements?
No, but I'll take the opportunity to thank Greg and the team on the Swimmer's Itch. We had a family reunion this past weekend, and I reported 3 swimmer itch cases covered. Kids were covered, but now I'm hearing of more. So I really appreciate all the work that group does. Thank you.
Michelle, announcement?
Sorry.
Announcement.
I would like to take this moment to thank Martha for her service that she gives our township. She's on our library board and represents Gerrish Township. So thank you for that, Martha. And Good Shepherd's having their annual rummage sale. You can drop off donations starting August 18th through the 20th. The sale will be August 22nd and 23rd. We'll put it up on the board. That's all I got.
I don't have anything other than the Health of Higgins Lake project is moving along, continues to move along nicely. The steering committee has a large meeting, not the steering committee, the science committee has a large meeting tomorrow with a lot of folks at that, and they're getting ready to start evaluating the reports that are out there. There's a bunch of work that's been coordinated and getting going on that. So things are going along good. Lots of activity and lots of support. So we continue to appreciate the support of the community for what we're trying to do. So,
Okay, thank you. Jim Anderson?
Greg forgot to mention that there's a fundraiser on Thursday night for the Swimmer's Itch group, but there's
What night?
Thursday.
Thursday night.
Is
that right?
Saturday.
No.
So if you haven't got a ticket, you might still be able to get one.
you got them? You got tickets?
Yes, I, that would be, no, but
Anyways, and again, playing off of what Michelle said, I was represented the library when it started. I broke away from the school, and up until the point I retired from auditing, I represented them, and it's a great organization, and that building is just awesome if you haven't been in there. And then also in respect to this short-term rental issue, there is something being done. We talked about it at the work session. We have a ordinance that's in its third draft that's with the attorney, and Brian and I will be meeting with the attorney later this month to review that. And assuming that that's the direction the board's going to go, there'll be some sort of public hearing as part of that process to get that put in play. and I read the same articles, and I've heard from people directly regarding the issue, and it's a problem throughout the state. It's a problem throughout the whole country, even the world. Spain, if you look at there's articles in Hawaii, they're talking about trying to limit those. There was an article that was forwarded to us the other day about a whole town in Indiana that they're trying to get it down to be less than at least 10% of the total housing. And I'm just shocked that I mean, to get it down to that. So yeah, it's a prevalent problem that needs to be addressed. And other than that, the tax collections are going well and running smoothly in my office.
Very good. From my end, just don't want to everybody to forget. I don't want you to forget August 15th and 16th over at the police department parking lot. We have partnered with Charlton Heston Schools, their career tech program, for a scrap tire. I understand they're taking rims too and whatever. It's a dollar a tire to scrap them with them. They're going to have a couple, one or two semi trailers over there. They'll be on the south edge of the police department parking lot on the north side of our north driveway over here. And they'll be there to take those tires. And so hopefully we'll be able to get a lot of unused tires and that type of thing properly recycled and that type of thing. Plus, the school they wrote a grant for that through the state of Michigan, and so they also get I'm sure a buck or two type of thing out of that. Plus, the kids get to learn good recycling habits and things like that. So please look around your yards if you got old tires that you've been dying to get rid of because they collect mosquitoes or otherwise. That's going to be a great opportunity those 2 days to get rid of those. So please don't forget that. Now, lastly, I give the public one last shot because now you heard our announcements and whatever. And after that, we're going to look to wind the meeting down here. Anybody? We're all hot, right? I'm sitting in here. Yes. Hey, oh, another one.
Over at that. Relatively new to the area, so not up to date with everything or educated on everything. I have a dog. I walk the dog down Carlos. Past the parking lot, and I go down the sidewalk to where it comes to an intersection. I stop, I look at the water, continue on to go back onto the road. At least twice so far, I've been, I'll say reprimanded by the person that works in the bathhouse. I don't know who it is. Informed I'm not allowed to have a dog there. Last year, there was a sign that said, keep your dog on a leash. This year it says, no dogs. I haven't seen anything official that says we no longer can have dogs at the park. And I usually say to her, I know it says no dogs. I take Matthew down, we look at the water. And we keep right on going. If we're at the water or on the sidewalk for a minute total, I would be surprised. I just want to know, what is the rule, or is there a rule, or is it a personal choice?
Chief,
Actually, on the part, there are no.
oh, you want to speak into that microphone, Chief?
According to the park rules and the ordinance for the park, there are no dogs allowed in the park. So that area that you're speaking of would be in the park.
Okay.
I might suggest that you go around the turnaround.
Yeah.
And you could actually get closer to the water there and look at it, people that way, but officially there are no dogs in the park. And it should be posted on the rules on the bathhouse.
Okay.
With all the rules there, so next time you go down there, you look for that. Yes.
I give a microphone, please. Hey, listen, I get chewed out after these meetings if it doesn't happen.
I'm Mary Ann Breitinger. I live on Pinewood. Down Henry, I've noticed there's a big sign that's been posted on one of the I can't think what those things are, the wood things, yeah. Was that put there by the park? It says no dogs, it's a great big sign.
Not to my knowledge, there shouldn't have, I don't know.
I
Because that's
Can't
an
speak to it.
easement there. And
can't speak to it.
dogs,
And it was posted by the road commission, so no, nothing should have been posted on it unless the road commission.
well, there's a sign there, you should go down and check it, because people walk their dogs through there, and then they catch the turnaround and go on out of the park. Can you do that?
Well, through there, they can walk through there, yes,
Yeah,
because that's not considered a park.
right.
To the turnaround, but as far as the sign being posted there shouldn't be a sign, and I'll follow up with the manager from the road commission on that tomorrow morning.
Okay,
And Parks and Recs, obviously you can look into. I know that there has been some signage that was put up over the last, well, prior to when I left as chief, different signages were put up that I wasn't.
We didn't do that.
yes. Holding pads and those sailboats. And there was a sign put up in the tree reserve for them. That was only.
I'm not familiar with that at all.
I think I know what you're talking about a sign that says Hobie Cat. It's not, they go there a lot, they park there a lot. I believe that sign is kind of unjust. It is not an official sign from the Parks and Rec. And the Parks and Rec also did not put up any sign on Henry. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, but I know that Gerrish Township did not put up any sign on it.
Because I would think nobody has the right to post their own sign in an urban area, and they take up a big area. If people don't want to take the beach.
That's just a matter of first come, first served. So I mean, they're taking up the space because they like to enter there,
Mhm.
but it's not officially for them. Anyway.
Right, I understand. Therefore, there shouldn't be any fines. Thank you.
Well, Chief, see what you can do to look into those pieces there, because that's kind of news to me, but. Okay, very good. Anybody else? All right, not seeing any, and board, you're all good, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting at 19:57, 7:57. Anybody want to make that motion?
So moved.
Moved by Treasurer Anderson, support?
I'll support.
Support by Trustee Hoppy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you all for attending the meeting. Well, there are actually three of us. There are three meetings tonight, but the last one most heavily attended. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. You all have a great rest of your week.
I just learned of those